We've been talking about this hearing involving down at the federal courthouse involving Michael Cohen in New York. We reported on these FBI raids, his home, his hotel, his office, seizing material, right, documents, potentially records involving hush payments, Access Hollywood tapes. Here's the headline. He is now officially under criminal investigation. Let's go to our senior justice correspondent, Evan Perez, with this. This is obviously huge news.
That's right, Brooke. I mean, look, it was obvious the fact that the FBI raided his home, his hotel room, and his office, that there was something big happening here. But now, for the first time, we see, in the words of a prosecutor from the Southern District of New York, that Michael Cohen is under criminal investigation. And it says here that he is under he's under investigation for criminal conduct that largely centers on his personal business dealings. Again, we don't know what all has been seized. There's a lot of information here that has been redacted by the government, but it does say that one of the things that they're looking at is that the fact that he had very few clients, and so this question of whether or not this the information that was taken from his hotel room, from his offices, the records, his electronics, whether or not that is protected by attorney-client privilege, they say it's really not that relevant because, again, he has very few clients, doesn't bill anybody, and so all of this has to do with his, or largely has to do with his personal business dealings for which he is under investigation. The court documents also say that this did come partly as a referral from Special Counsel Robert Mueller, but it also says that this is an investigation being done by the U.S. Attorney in Manhattan and is proceeding independently of the Special Counsel. Again, underscoring the fact that this is now two separate investigations that we have going that have an impact on President Trump, which is why you see President Trump's own attorney showing up in court, as Shimon has been describing from the federal courthouse down there. I'll also add this from the court documents. There's, again, some of it that has been redacted, and we can't really tell what has been seized in these series of raids that were carried out. But they do say that there was some concern that some of these records could have been deleted. It doesn't say specifically what records, but it does mention that some of the electronics, as Gloria Borger and some of my other colleagues have been reporting, the FBI is believed to have seized some of recordings that Michael Cohen may have made over the last couple of years. And so there was some concern, at least according to the federal prosecutors here, that if they didn't do this raid, they would have, some of these records might have been lost, might have been deleted in the course of time. So again, we're going through these documents, Brooke, but the big headline here, obviously, underscoring that this is he's a target of a criminal investigation for his personal business dealings.
Okay, Evan, thank you so much. I've got Joe Moreno and James Galliano here with me. And so let's back up for a second. So when we talked about the raids earlier in this week, and we talked about maybe the way in which that an aggressive way to go about going through and grabbing, right, the FBI, his hotel and office and home, one sort of presupposed that there was something there for them to do this, for them to find. And the notion now that we're learning that Trump's personal attorney is under criminal investigation now, surprising? What's the next move? No.
Not surprising to me at all. I mean, when you go to the lengths of appointing a special prosecutor, I've been a cautious skeptic on the Russia collusion thing from the beginning, but when you bring to bear a special prosecutor with immense powers and limited oversight, he's probably got, this is an FBI special, he's probably got a minimum of 10, 15, 20 agents working on this around the clock. He's got some of the best and finest attorneys, former DOJ attorneys working with him on it. If you sick a special prosecutor on somebody, there is, even if there's no there with the president, the people in his orbit, when they fall under that scrutiny, this is not unexpected.
But also what Evan just noted, that probably the timing of the raids, they were worried that there could be electronics that could go and be deleted like that.
That's why they went that route, and and I'll leave that to my esteemed, lawyer colleague here, but that's why they went that route. They had to have feared that there was going to be the destruction of evidence. Otherwise, you have to use every other means possible to gather that intel other than using a no-knock warrant.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, this is the other shoe that's now dropped, right? I mean, we could have all speculated, giving Mr. Cohen the full benefit of the doubt on Monday when the raid happened, that perhaps this was an aggressive move, perhaps that they were grasping at something. But the fact that now this Evan confirms that he in fact could be a target, not a surprise. It was an aggressive move. It's not one that's utilized often, raiding the records of an attorney, and so it seems par for the course now that this would move in this direction.
Can we turn the page and then have the next chapter of questions, which is then could SDNY, and I guess, and this is unrelated to the Mueller investigation, but I don't know if you guys know where I'm going, in the sense that they have this potential criminality. We don't know what it is. They say to Cohen, I've got this on you and this on you and this on you. And if you don't start talking and telling me what you know about Donald Trump, the man, what you have been involved with, we're going to throw you away for a bunch of years unless you help Mueller.
The echoes of the mid-1990s and the investigation into Bill Clinton and his associates, it is so eerily reminiscent here. Now, to your point, Brooke, yes, but I'll caveat by saying Susan McDougal went to jail and did time and didn't say a word. And I'm sure somebody that's basically, I hate to use the term House counsel because it's pejorative, but by the same token, somebody who's been Donald Trump's right-hand man.
No, he said he would take a bullet for the man. It's hard to imagine him flipping on Donald Trump.
That's hyperbole, but when people are facing stiff time, I'm here to tell you, after 25 years in the FBI, it changes their calculus.